Hi, it's Stephen from Mona Disso. Well, it is finally Black Friday. Seems to have taken ages, to be honest, to get here. Now, a lot of stores are closed over on Thanksgiving, so more and more are doing it online. And I've actually already released a couple of videos doing some deals already. Now, this time, I've actually scoured the internet for all kinds of things. Gaming laptops, non-gaming laptops, gaming accessories like keyboards, headphones, even some TVs. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody seems to buy TVs on Black Friday, don't they? So I do have a list of them in the description below. Of course, they've got affiliate links, and if you are interested in some of those items, you know, that certainly helps support my channel. Also, I encourage you to click on the Gizmo Slips link for the laptop buying guide, again in the description, because of course there's many more deals and reviews and benchmarks and things on all laptops in that link, and it's a useful database for you. So let's jump straight to it and see, have a look at some of these gaming laptops. Now, most of them are over at Best Buy or Newegg, so you know, unfortunately, not much, say for Amazon, seem to suck this year, to be honest. So first off, we've got like the Asus ROG 16. This is the M16, and so a bit like the Zephyrus G15, but it's Intel, and it's got a 16:10 aspect ratio, which I personally do really like. Now, this only has a 1920 by 1200 display, and it's a 3050 Ti and an i7 11800H. And that's been reduced by $150 to about $1,300. Now that's okay, but I would much prefer this one. It's the 3060 model, 165 Hz, 2560 by 1600. And here you get the i9 as well, i9 11900H. So just for, you know, what's it, a couple $100 more, you get, you know, better display really, and you get the i9, and this is $14.99 reduced by $350. So that looks quite a decent deal. Also, I'm actually going through manufacturers here first. Let's say we're going through Asus, the Asus TUF DASH 15. Now I did check this one out. It wasn't the best. I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, but of course it was bottlenecked a bit by the CPU. You do have the 3070H. It's a 4-core, 8-thread CPU, 35-watt chip, 1080p. But it was also bottlenecked by the by Optimus, which a lot of these laptops are, to be fair. So, but still, you know, it's for $1,099. I think it's a decent value with a 3060. Let's go to this one. This is the Asus ROG Zephyrus 15.6 inch. So it's a QHD RTX 3070, 1TB SSD, and we've got the Ryzen 9. So that's great, isn't it? And it's been reduced by $350 to $1,550. So if you want to have a quick look at the specifications, yeah, we've got 2560 by 1440, and the Ryzen 9 5900HS 35-watt chip. That performs really, really well, and you should get some good battery life on it too. And the RTX 3070. Now, of course, it you know, has Optimus, which will hold it back, but you know, it's a very, very nice laptop, beautifully built as well. Now, actually, Razer have got a lot of laptops on sale at the moment. Now, I know this one here is not necessarily a gaming machine, but I've put it in there because, you know, it's got a Thunderbolt port. You know, you can hook it up to your external graphics dock, that type of thing. That's still very expensive. It is Razer though. You're paying a Razer tax, $200 off, $1,500. And actually, I did look at this. I'm not sure if I uploaded a video, but I did really like it. It's a beautifully crafted machine, very lightweight, great battery life, and of course it runs on the Intel Evo platform. So you do have Intel Iris Xe graphics. So you can game low settings, 1080p, fine. So all in all, it's just a nice little machine, but of course it is pricey. Again, looking at the Razer again, you got a lot of reduced on the Razer Blade 15s this year. Of course, these are the previous models. So you got 2070 Super, which, to be fair, well, I was going to say, I don't think it's the Max P one. It's probably the Max Q, but still that works pretty well. It's probably equivalent to like a 2080 Max Q type of thing. But that's still, I mean, I'm still rocking a 2080 Max Q laptop, and that still games well. Now that's been reduced. It says $900, of course. That's because it was started off at $2,400, which of course is a crazy price. But now it's a more manageable price, you know, comparable to perhaps a lower powered 3060. And of course, you do get the 300 hertz panel and lovely build quality, of course, as we all know about Razer. Now here, actually, if you're into the Quadro line, the 5000 RTX 5000, and you got lots of cash, this is one to go. You got 32 gigabytes of memory, a 4K OLED. So this is, I mean, a drop dead gorgeous machine, isn't it? It's been reduced by 500 down to an eye-bleeding $3,800. So it's still very, very expensive. Of course, you got the 4K panel. You do have the 8-core 16-thread CPU here, but you know, that's still a nice machine, but a little bit expensive for my tastes. Now they also have the 2080 Super. Again, that could be a Super Max Q, which is on par to a 2070 Super, or just slightly faster. I think it's 5% faster than the 2070 Super Max P, which this will put it actually, you know, it will probably put it only about 5 to 10% behind a 3070 Max P. Now it's easy to lose track of that, but that's what it is. And you know, $1,600, $1,400 off. I think this is a very nice one. You know, it's 1 terabyte SSD, and let's have a look at the specs. I think the panel is 1080p. That's what the refresh rate is on the panel. I think it really says. So yeah, there 300 hertz. So you know, 300 hertz panel, close to 3070 Max P performance for $1,600. Great build quality, fantastic. Here's the same one, but with a 4K OLED panel, but only 16 gigabytes of RAM, and this is reduced down to $1,800. Still, that's pretty nice. Now, I've always wanted a Mercury white one. I mean, they're so sexy, aren't they? I've seen them in person. I know every time I see them, oh, you know, I want to get one of those babies. So this is a 2070, be a Max Q. 512 gigabyte SSD. Now it's got the same 4K OLED panel, beautiful panel, 16 gigabytes. It's got the i7, so yeah, the 10758. Okay, so we're looking at a 6-core CPU, but $1,400. So you know, that's not a bad deal at all. I like it. Now over to MSI. What have MSI got here? The GE66 Raider. Now, this is one of my favorite laptops. I owned the Dragon Shield. This is of course, this is with the 3080, 2 terabytes, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and the i9 11980HK. So, you know, it's a top of the line model, and you're paying top of the line price, of course. It's still, even reduced from $245, it's still, you know, very expensive. And by all accounts, reading the reports, it does get hot. Now, my Dragon Shield did get hot too. And I think the i9 is probably going to get hotter. So bear that in mind. You'll probably have to run it either in balance mode, or if you're running high performance mode, you're going to have to jack up those fans for sure. Hopefully, they've improved the webcam. I mean, the microphone on the webcam there, it just was quite poor, really. But all in all, you know, you have your G-Sync. You've got all the ports, SD card reader. You've got you know, everything you can think of there, and it's good RGB lighting on the keyboard as well, you know, and it's all aluminium build. It's really nice, and of course I love that light bar at the front. Okay, now of course Best Buy have Geek Squad certified, so they've got the GE66 2070 Super, 1 terabyte SSD, 32 gigabytes of RAM, so that's pretty decent. The 2070 Super, that's Max P Super, right? So that's what I had in my Dragon Shield. So that's about 10 to 15% behind a 3070, 125 watt. Now you do have, you know, the G66 does have the mux switch, so you can switch between hybrid graphics, and it does have a 99 watt hour battery. So I did manage to squeak out about 7 hours, but typically 5 hours, 5 to 7 hours is what you'll get, and that's $1,750. You know, and I remember it was 2,100. Now I do think it does have only the 6-core CPU. It does, so it's only got the i7 10750H, but still, that's a nice machine. Panel-wise, I think it didn't come with a 240 hertz panel. I think it came with a 240 hertz panel, that model. So that's that. Now they've also got GS76, because it's a 17-inch laptop, 360 hertz panel. Nice, nice. $2,200. Now this is not on sale, but I think it's still decent value. That's why I put this here, because you've got the fast panel. You do have the i9. 11900H, so it's pretty well specced out here. 32 gigs of memory, 1 terabyte SSD. You'll have a mux switch, all the bling. Nice. So I think $2,200 is pretty decent on that. Definitely. The MSI Delta. Now I've been asked to review this one. 6700M. So it's going to be pretty good GPU there in the 5800H. Terabyte SSD, 16 gigabytes of memory, and a 240 hertz panel. And I think for $1,300, I think that's a pretty good deal, isn't it? I mean, it looks really nice. So yeah, there's the specs. So I actually will be looking to see if I can get one of these into review. So stay tuned for that. Now over at Newegg, we've got the GF65 thin. So this is more of a budget line. 144 hertz panel, 6-core CPU, 3060. I think it's probably one of the lower powered ones. It might be like 95 watts, 85 to 95 watts type of thing. Just it's been juiced by $150 to $1,050. Nice machine. It'll just run Optimus, 512 gigabyte SSD. So I think that's decent. In Messiah, I've also got the GP. It's the GP75 Leopard. I've actually just reviewed the GP66, and that was pretty decent. It lacked on the port side of things, I must admit, but it was a good performer. You got a full RGB keyboard, of course, 144 hertz panel, 2070 Super. I still think that's a great GPU. As I say, it's just for 10-15% behind a 3070 125 watt in dedicated GPU mode, so it's slightly faster than a good 3060, and you've got all the good ports. It's very nice, and that that's 13. No, actually reduced. Look at $1,200. Fucking hell! That's, sorry for swearing, but that's a pretty decent deal, isn't it? $1,200. All right, Alienware. Do Alienware actually have deals? Well, this is a refurbished one. So it's the M17. We're going back a bit here to 2070 Max Q. And I think the CPU is the 6-core 9750H, which is still a fairly decent CPU, but we're looking a bit dated now, I guess, in terms of hardware. But it's always still a nice design, just short of $1,800. And again, running with the Dell theme, we're looking at the Dell G15 3050 Ti, 512 gigabytes, and only 8 gigabytes of memory, so you'll probably want to put another stick in there to get the dual channel. But if you're looking for a budget machine, it's okay, isn't it? $880, and at least you get a fairly decent CPU to get the 5800H. So you got the base unit, which is really good. Slap in some another storage. You should have two slots for M2 drives, so you should be good there. Now HP. Not much going on at HP, I didn't think, but we've got here the Omen 16.1 inch. It's a nice machine. I've got I don't actually have this one in, but I think I've got one coming in. So this is $1,700, only $100 off. 3070. A friend of mine actually has going to be reviewing this one shortly. Actually, he's going to put it up on my channel, and he says it's of course you got a mux switch. You don't have G-Sync, but I think the PL1 is like 90 watts, and it just holds that. It's really powerful. He says the cooling is really good. Now, he did repaste it, and he did get better thermals, but it doesn't thermal throttle once he repasted it. And he says the fans are fairly quiet. Do pull something down a little bit, I think, but all in all, they're fairly quiet. And I think for like $1,700, and of course it's a Max P, very good, very good. We've got the Gigabyte G5 15.6 inch 144 hertz panel, 11400H, and this is a good budget machine. $850, 3050. So if you're just getting out and gaming, this is quite a good one to go for. So over to the non-gaming segment. First off is the HP Spectre 360, which I believe I did review. Now, these machines typically run with the 4-core 8-thread Tiger Lake CPU. So, I mean, they're fairly decent. Single-core boost is pretty good. Of course, you've got Intel Xe graphics. So if you did want to game on it, you can do it low settings. Not too bad. Now, we have a 3:2 aspect ratio. Quite a high resolution on this. and if I recall, it is an OLED. But it was very, very nice. 16 gigabytes of RAM, not bad. And I think for $1,629, I think that's a good deal. Now we've got the Yoga line, the 9i. This is a 14-inch laptop, again running on the Evo platform. 512 gigabytes SSD, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Of course, all these come with a pen, and they use them for taking notes and drawing pictures and things. This is a 1080p panel. You'll probably get some decent battery life on this. So all in all, that's good. Now this is one I wouldn't mind myself. The LG Gram. So obviously, I did actually review a regular LG Gram notebook, and it was very lightweight, bit bendy though. So I'm not sure what the build quality is like on this, but it's a 16-inch, 16 gigabytes of RAM. We do have 2 terabytes of storage, so that's pretty nice. You get 2560 by 1600 resolution. So I think, you know, for the price, what's this? Is $16.99 reduced by 300. That is a nice option if you like a 2-in-1. Now there's actually over at Best Buy a lot of sales on the MacBooks, the Intel versions. So if you want to do boot camp, I think, you know, it's the way to go. This has the Core, the i9, 16 gigabytes of memory, 5500M, which is like a GTX 1650 and a terabyte SSD. And they're reducing these a lot. They're all, you know, all different models of these MacBooks. You can get discounted $2,200. Again, we've got another 9i here. This time, $1,349. It's the 4K HDR model. And finally, over actually in Lenovo, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 9 14-inch. Now, this has been reduced 50% off. I mean $3,400. I don't know if I'd want to pay that, but for $1,714, it could be a good deal. All right, so now on to the accessories department. ADATA, you know, they want 2 terabyte PCI Express Gen 3 SSD, reduced by $70 to $19.99. I thought that was pretty decent. It is Gen 3 though, and if you wanted a terabyte model, that's down to $105. So I think certainly they're good deals. In terms of portable storage, I do have the T5, so the Samsung T5. Now this, the T7, is it's a USB-C. This is 2 terabytes, but you can get different capacities. But the T7 is about 1,000 megabytes per second compared to my 500 megabytes, and that's down to it's $80 off. So that's $80 off for $250. It's pretty decent. Now they have the Evo 870, the SATA 2 terabyte, again different capacities here. So this is $240 for the 2 terabytes. This is $60 off. They have the 980 PCI Express Gen 3 NVMe SSD, again different capacities, a terabyte. That's down to $99. So that's a pretty decent SSD. Gigabyte over at Amazon have a terabyte one for $116. This is Gen 4, I think, isn't it? Yep, Gen 4. So that's going to be fast, very, very fast. And I think $116, that's good. Of course, you've got different capacities as well. Now, in terms of keyboards, I saw that Best Buy had an optical keyboard here for only $75.99. It's been reduced by $44 from $119. So that looks pretty decent. And you know, if you're on a budget and you want a Death Adder gaming mouse, this is reduced by $10 down to $20. The Razer Death Adder. And headphones. I'm actually thinking of doing a top 3 gaming headphones under $100. So I might end up buying something like this because, you know, it's a 7.1 surround sound. You can use it for the PlayStation or Xbox if you want as well. It looks pretty decent. And that's only $28. I don't think you can go too far wrong. So that's reduced by $21.50. Also, Razer have got the Black Shark V2. This is reduced by $33.50 down to $66. THX spatial audio, so that one looks good as well. I might add that to my list. Corsair have their HS60. That's a very popular headsets. I could probably look at that one. That's reduced by $30. That's down to $40. Pretty decent. And finally, another the Kraken. It's wired 7.1 surround, and that's reduced by $42 down to $38. So I think there's some decent headsets on sale there. All right, now over to some monitors. Now this one, I mean, if I had the desk space, I would love to have this baby. It's a Samsung G97T, 49-inch, curved. It's the resolution is rather crazy. It's like a 1440p monitor, but of course it's actually huge. 5120 by 1440, 240 hertz. So I'm like, oh my god, send me one for Christmas. So I think that's pretty decent, you know, and that's been reduced by $500. So 1,100. It's still a lot of money, isn't it? But still, you know, it's going to be amazing. Imagine watching movies on that. So there's that one, and Dell have the 27-inch monitor with the world's longest name. It's FreeSync and G-Sync capable, of course, and it's 165 hertz, and this is QHD, 2560 by 1440. To me, 27 inches is a sweet spot for gaming. Mine's a 27-inch. And that's been reduced by $120 to $330. Now, if you want an even higher refresh rate, you've got the Asus TUF 24.5-inch. It's IPS 280 hertz, 1 millisecond G-Sync monitor, HDR 400. Read the reviews, got great reviews, and this has been reduced by $100 to $230. Now, of course, it's only 1080p. But you do have a 240 hertz refresh rate. Excellent. All right, so finally over to the TVs. Who doesn't buy a TV on Black Friday? So over at Best Buy, Vizio 15-inch, 50-inch. You know, it's a smart TV. These come down. I mean, these are like ridiculous prices. 4K, $500. I thought that was good. If you want to go bigger, 55-inch Sony. You know, it's only $600. 4K. TV, smart Google TV. It's insane, isn't it, really? So that's only $600. And if you want to go even bigger, Samsung have the 70-inch. My wife would kill me if I had one of these. Again, they're all smart TVs these days, 4K. And this is $999. Just 70-inch. My God, it's crazy. 85-inch. Yeah, so the 85-inch Black Friday one, QLED, 4K. This is $19.99. If you've got a house big enough for one of these babies, who wouldn't want a game on one of them? And if you want a bit more of a reasonable size, 60-inch, the QLED, same TV really. This is down to $800. I think that's the one I would go for, even though my wife would probably still think that's too big. But $800 looks like the sweet spot. So there you go. Lots of deals and offers on there, I must admit. And I apologise it's so long, but I wanted to cover a whole wide spectrum of different things. So anyway, happy shopping. I do have time codes, of course, in the links below. So see you next time. Bye.